Welcome back to our show. Once again, my name is Mrs. Augustina Anyanwutina. And help me welcome my friend,
glorynezemma. Welcome back to our sweet home, Africa. Once again, it's a pleasure to have you as our viewer. Okay, so we have another topic today. Our topic today is destroying our children's potentials in Africa. I know many people will ask, how are we destroying our children's potential in Africa? Alright, that's why my friend and I were here today, once again, to give you some insights and also give some advice on how we are, actually destroying our children's potential and what we have to do to help our children, because we need those potentials in Africa. But let's see what we're doing directly or indirectly that are destroying our children's potentials. So, my dear friend.
My dear.
All right, I'll throw it to you. We talked about the potentials. We talked about human resources. We talked about so many things that we need to change in Africa.
Yes.
All right, so
today
this time
we are focusing on families.
Exactly.
All right, because charity begins at home.
That is true.
Like we said. When the family is okay, it will spill out. So the country will be okay, the city will be okay, the nation will be okay. So yes, destroying our children's potentials. There are so many ways parents are doing it. I think it's unknowingly, because no parent will destroy their children's potential knowingly. I think they're doing it unknowingly, not knowing. Maybe over caring. Like I have said it before, let go, let your child go. And this time I think it's by marriage. Most parents think it's better for them to pick up a wife or pick up a husband for their child. And this happens mainly for parents that have money, quote unquote. Then, because you know what? They tell their children not to work. Everything is there for them. So in a way, the child don't want to lose the wealth of the parents.
The heritage, exactly.
Yes. So most parents, because of contract or because of one thing or the other, want their child to marry based on their class.
Okay.
Yes. On doing that, they can match their son with a daughter of their friend or a daughter of a wealthy person, another wealthy person. On doing that, again, there is no love. Both of them maybe have not even met before. They don't have that much in common, only that the parents are rich. It's not even their own wealth, because they didn't work for it.
Okay.
So, but they connect their children, and when they do that, that's the time the problem starts, because there is no love in between them. They don't know each other before. They're trying to learn one another. And 9 out of 10 times, the boy already has somebody in mind that he loves. And maybe the girl too, but the parents have to convince them. I know you're going to love him. You need to work it out. You do not work things like that out, because it have to go with your feeling, your gut. You have to know the person. You have to be able to love the person, appreciate the person, cherish the person in thick and thin. So my dear, I have to leave you to go before I think it's a one-man show. Yes, God.
All right, thank you so much, my friend, as usual. Actually, when you were talking, what came to my mind, when you talked about parents arranging...
Connection.
Exactly, marriages for their children. So it's almost like arranged marriage that we hear in the, with other cultures too. All right, so let me compare it to other cultures that we've seen in the diaspora where we live. All right, so we talk about the Indians and arranged marriage. And I know most of the time, even in Africa many years ago, parents arrange their children's marriages.
Yes.
All right, but what we have understood recently, why we brought out this topic, is this. A lot of cultures, like we said, the Indian culture, they arrange their children's marriage. But it's not with any selfish motive. They do it because they want those children to marry. So the attention is geared towards the children themselves. But what we have understood in Africa is this. Africans are trying to practice arranged marriage, but many of them are doing it with selfish motive, in the sense that what they're doing is this. Let's say my friend, if my friend is a politician, for example, she has a very good job, maybe she's a senator, and I happen to be a senator too. So it happened that we work in the same office, and we're making a lot of money. So she would talk to me and say, you know what, I like your son, I want your son to marry my daughter.
That's right.
And then maybe I will go to her house and take my son there, and then we'll tell the young girl and the young boy, will tell, you know what, I think people should talk. We'll take care of the wedding. We'll give you a car. We'll give you a house. You people can, please get married. The motive is this, so that my friend and I, as senators, we will maintain our political relationship. It has nothing to do with the children. So that means you are looking at these children, that you're destroying their own life, because these are not people, I mean, they don't love each other. But just because my friend and I were very selfish, we want to keep what we have as senators, or maybe contract, whatever, if we're contractors. So we're destroying these children's potentials, because we're connecting them to people that they don't love at all. There's no love. The only connection there are the parents. So we're just using our children as tools to connect our political ambitions and our business ambitions. So that's what we're talking in terms of this topic that we brought up. What we're doing, even sometimes they get money and they send these children overseas. I mean, the couple, they're there, but they are not happy. And there's friction all over the place, and there's divorce, and people are saying, oh my God, they went to America and they divorced, they went to London and they divorced, because in the first place they didn't love each other. I call it marriage by contract, because the contract was between the two parents. So that's exactly what the topic is. So we are destroying our children's potentials, and the worst thing that can happen to any human being is to be in a bad relationship, to live with someone that you don't love. Sometimes it's your enemy, even, that you're married to, just because your parents arranged it. So let me throw it back to you, my friend.
My dear, do you know, to me, I think it's not only our children, even some grown men, they want to marry into a certain family because of what that family can offer to them.
That is true.
And the same thing with the young ladies. They can make a choice based on the man have a big car, he have a big house. You go and marry that person. First of all, you don't know who the person is. You don't love the person, you're going after that car. You're going after the luxury, quote unquote, you thought you saw there because he have a big house. That doesn't mean it's his money. He have cars. He know how to dress. That's not how to pick a life partner. And eventually, somewhere along the line, he will either dump you or you will dump him. He will either divorce you emotionally. He can divorce you because you are not the right pick. You came there for the wrong reasons. And as time goes by, now you want to figure out how he's sleeping, what he's doing, what he's not doing. And he's not coming home because he don't love you.
Exactly.
He is not coming home. After work, he will go somewhere. He will not go to public places with you. You know why? Because the love is not there. His mind, his body and soul is for somebody else. But you come there to occupy the space that is not yours. So in a way, we got to think about it. Even you, secretary in the office, that see your oga, that oga is old enough to be your father. You want to marry because confusion. But looking at that, that's not your man. What I'm saying is, when you have a motive that have not love, got nothing to do with it. There is nothing like love. You have a motive. You are chasing a greener pasture, quote unquote. It is not good. It doesn't work. So most of our men go out. They don't want to be identified with you because they know right inside their heart that you are not their wife. Then you too, as a woman, sometimes you don't want to go out with your husband. Instead, you say, I'm not going. You stay home because you know that's not the love of your heart. Well, yes, that's not the love of your heart because you went there based on what you think you can get. So we are saying this because most of us, we are copying so much from outside the country, America. You get to America, you see how they go around with their wives. You see how husband and wife play. You see how husband and the children play. Once that man don't like you at the end of the road, He's going to distance both you and your children. So do your children a favor. Marry for love. Parents, take off your hands from your children's marriage. Let them choose somebody they love. Let them choose a life partner. It's not something you want to use today. You can pick a car for them. If they don't want it, they can go and buy another one. But life partner, let the children make their choices. My dear.
Thank you so much again. Once again, while you were talking, I keep on thinking, I said, who are the people that are really doing this? And once again, it's the wealthy people in Africa, because I think we see a lot of beautiful weddings. I love African weddings, especially Nigerian weddings. Yeah. And then, people keep on going around, the problem is that they will get married today, they will come overseas, like I said, they will come to London, and there's problem all over. What is going on? That's why we're talking about this. Please, wealthy Africans, just like my friend said, allow your children to pick their spouses. Even if the girl is from a rich family, if there's love there, let them live together. Don't do it because of your, like I said, your political position. Don't do it because of your social status. Because what you're doing, you are destroying the potentials of these young people. And like I said at the beginning, when you live with someone that you don't love, you cannot be productive in life. Because it will destroy everything that you want to do in your life. Because you'll be struggling to keep a relationship that you made up yourself. And unfortunately, when these parents are gone, because after a while, the parents will be dead and gone. The children will be fighting. You have taken their happiness away forever. And then they will not be productive, even like in Africa, because they are struggling to even save their life in a relationship, not to talk about what they have to do in life. So please, and there's another area that I just remembered. Because a lot of wealthy people in Africa, they keep on complaining that their children are not doing well. Oh, you know what? My son, I paid for his house. I gave him 4 cars. I did this for him. I flew him to London. I did this. And look at him, he's not doing well.
Did he ask you?
Did he ask you to fly him? Because what happened is that you did these things for him, and then you brought a spouse to him, and then you keep him miserable. So he cannot be productive because you destroy his life because of selfish reason. So please, even the young Africans, look, if your father is looking for a wife for you, I don't think it's the right thing for him to do. Because once again, like I said, especially the wealthy ones, yes, arranged marriage sometimes it works out perfectly if the motive is good. But we have realized that a lot of our people, their motive is different. It's not the children. The children are even victims of their parents. So please, look at your children. If you really, really love your children, you will want the best for them. You will want their happiness. So stop picking spouses for them. Let them go and pick who they like. And then you can support them. You can also give them everything. Because what they do sometimes in Africa, when they make those arranged marriages with their political, not opponents, like their political friends and business associates, what they do is like they even threaten the children. They said, look, if you don't marry this minister's daughter, I'm not going to give you any part of my property. Yes, that's what they do. So it becomes a threat. And then out of fear, these children will end up marrying people that they don't like. Like I said, they even marry their enemies. Girls that they don't like at all, just because their father threatened them or their mother threatened them. So please, our dear Africans, we have so much to do in Africa. Do not destroy the potentials of these children. Because, many of you are older. So we are hoping on the younger ones to rebuild Africa. But if you are really hijacking them like this.
Their happiness.
Exactly. Hijacking everything about them. And then hooking them up in a marriage that they don't want. What have you done? You have destroyed their potentials because they will not be able to rise to the level that they want to be in life because you put them in a very bad relationship. Go ahead, my friend.
My dear, looking at what you're saying, that creates extramarital affairs.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll be hopping from one place to another, looking for peace. But they will not say it because to them, that's not who their wife is. And the real wife they would have married, if it's in the case of a man, that woman already married somebody else and is miserable over there too. So that means you have destroyed a whole lot of families because they both married the wrong person, somebody that would have giving them, make them to come home after work instead of looking for who to call or where else to go. So that being said, you young man, your father threatened you that if you don't marry this person or that person, you will lose whatever wealth he acquired. God gave you talent.
That's true.
Do not sit home and sit down as a rich man's son or daughter. You drive any car. If your father can acquire that, you can do double. You can do more than your father. So take the challenge. Do something. Go to school. Stay in school, finish school. Or you learn a trade. Be your own person. Don't depend on somebody else's money. Though is your parent. They give you friend. If they don't give you, so be it. You need to be somebody for yourself. You need to use your God-given talent to be productive, not only to yourself, because you are there to help a lot of people. You are there to lift them up. So do not 100% depend on your father or your mother. And if they start threatening you, so what? All you have to do, you do something. Marry a woman or a man of your choice. Do not marry somebody because you just saw them in a bus station, or you just saw them, they gave you a ride. You do not know them like that. Please, let's marry for love. Let's stop marrying because of what the person can give you. Because sometimes, if you don't have peace of mind, you are going to be miserable for the rest of that, throughout the period that you're in that marriage. Or eventually you might divorce. And by then that will be worse because you have children that you have to explain to them what happened to their mother or what happened to their father. So let's not let our parents take contract over our head by forcing us to marry A or B, because that's not who you want to marry. Let your father or your mother know that you can make a choice when it comes to a life partner. Parents, stop mortgaging your children's future.
That's true.
Don't mortgage their happiness and peace of mind. Do not ruin their lives, because there are so many things that are going on, divorces, too many things happening. Girls, ladies, young ladies, don't be saying I'm going to marry this because you have a car, you have a big house. What do you have to offer to the marriage? This is not a time sleeping alone or laying with a man is enough. It is not enough. You have to bring your own God-given talent, because we are no more in 1800. We are no more in the 1970s. This is the year 221. So we need to do better. You go to school, do not shove it under the table. And sit down and marry somebody because they already made it. Or their father, not even him. Their father have money. Listen to yourself before you go and say you do. Because that's their parents' money. That's their parents' wealth. And then you need to do something to keep your own home going. Nadia?
Thank you so much. All right, so there's a little bit of something that I need to add.
Okay.
Because when we talked about potential, I know we started with marriage, but thinking of it, especially the wealthy Africans' children, many of them do not bring out their great potentials.
No.
Even I know some of them could be doctors, some of them could be lawyers and everything, but because of this wealth sometimes, what the parents do, they suppress the children. Exactly. They suppress them so much with the wealth, and they don't bring out their potential. All right, so African wealthy parents, let me address you a little bit. I know many of you complain so much that when you get older, these children are lost in the Western world, and many of them do not want to come back. It's because of, what my friend and I just brought up now. When you destroy their potentials, and you have acquired so much wealth in Africa, and they don't have the ability and the capability to manage those wealth because they were not trained in any form or shape. One, you bought cars for them, you bought houses overseas for them, you bought a wife for them, because if you arrange that marriage, you're married, and your son ended up marrying your friend's daughter, that means you bought the girl. So everything you bought for this boy, and now you're maybe like 80 or 90 years old, and you're waiting for this boy to come back to Africa to take care of your wealth. Where is he going to start? Because one, you didn't allow him to bring his whole potential in life. You didn't allow him to grow, to be able to manage things. What you did is just like you said, you suppressed him with wealth. So how is it going to hold on to your own wealth that you have acquired? So that's why when you look at a lot of people that were wealthy in Africa many years ago, many of them lost their wealth. There was no continuity because the children were all scattered all over the world, because you're taught that when you become rich in Africa, the way to show your wealth is by throwing your children out of Africa. You banish them out of Africa. That's how to show that you're a wealthy person. So
it's still going on there.
Exactly. So think of what we're doing. Like we said, we are destroying our children's potential, especially with marriage, and suppressing them with wealth. But the Westerners, what they do is that no matter how rich they are, they make sure that their own children acquire their own wealth.
Follow their footsteps.
Exactly. If they have a business, they put them inside that business.
Oh yeah.
If they're lawyers, you hear like this person, I don't want to use the name, but I just use a common name in America. You hear Shapiro and Shapiro. If they're doctors, you hear Smith and Smith. I mean, so many areas. But in Africa, hardly that you hear Abubakar, or George. I mean, like, African names. Anyanwu, or Okere and Okere. Oh no. You hardly hear
because we send them out.
Exactly.
That's all. We send them out.
So please, what we're saying, I know it sounded a little bit funny when we're throwing out the names. Those are legacies that must be preserved. And for you to do that, look at the best interests of your children with every decision that you're going to make. Do not let your own selfish desire suppress your child's potential in life. So that's our point. Because when you get older, you're no longer going to be in this world. So you have to allow your child to have a better life even when you're dead and gone. So please, don't do it. If your daughter sees someone that she likes, even if it is not your friend's son, please allow her to marry.
That's right.
Do not arrange it. And if you have to arrange it, let it be their own desire and not yours. Don't let it be really, tangled in terms of political interest or business interest. Because that's what a lot of Africans do. They do that and everybody's like, oh, my daughter married this person, my daughter married this person. But unfortunately, the children do not know each other, they don't love each other. It's just you, because you want to get something from your in-laws. You want them to give you a contract. You want them to give you position. So please do not do that. You are destroying the potentials of these young, talented Africans. And we need them to rebuild Africa. So that's what we're saying. My friend, I'm done.
My dear, we said it all. The only thing I wanted to say is where the legacy of these wealthy people. When you are wealthy, if your sources of income is okay, why don't you let your child meet your business partners or your daughter, so that in case anything happens, your legacy will not go down so much. Then they will continue. Because if you throw your child outside the country, maybe you're hiding them from somebody, or you're afraid something will happen to them, or you just want to show off that, oh, my child is abroad. But at the end of the day, it will hurt you, because if nobody followed from where you stop, that means everything will just die with you. But if you let your child, as your child is growing up, your son, your daughter, and they know that business, they know the people that whatever you're doing, they know your business or your clients, they know what to do. So even if you're dead and gone, if that child get married, it will continue, because you already paved the way for them. But let's not stop. Let's stop making decisions for our children, our grandchildren. We can give them everything, but let them pick a life partner. Let them pick a job they want to do. Let them make a choice of the course they want to study. Whatever they want to study, they can be anything. Let's stop, treating them as a little child, because you just want your own name. You don't care what happens to them. So that's actually what we are talking about. Because if you let your child, let his potential or her potential to be out, to flourish, that child will make you more happier than you thought, instead of you choosing everything for them. So that's the only thing. It's okay if a caring parent, No parent want their child to suffer. Like I said from the beginning. But don't be over caring, because when you impose yourself and your own ambition in your child's life, at the end they keep on it burns them. And by then they will get upset with you, because they will finally realize that you didn't do them any good. Your choice made them to be in a predicament, whatever their future will turn to be. That's all I can say.
Thank you so much. All right, we are almost done, but there's something that came to my mind now before we conclude. Because when we started with marriage, there was one thing that you pointed out that I need to push a little bit deeper. Because you said that's why they have a lot of extramarital affairs. Yes, I mean, thinking of it, when you arrange these marriages, and that these young boys or young girls end up with people that they don't like, just because their parents arranged it with their own selfish desires.
I want to please the parents.
Exactly. Then they are living in a miserable, I mean, they are staying in a miserable relationship. And that's why you hear a lot of extramarital affairs in Africa.
And that's why they're still in the offices too, because they want to maintain the whole family.
Exactly.
They will give for their mistress, and they want to get for the home.
All right, so you
it causes so many things.
Exactly, exactly. So please. All right, so now we know, most of the problems that we're facing in Africa are caused by us. So that's why we really have to think deep into what we're doing, and then understand how it's affecting us in our homes, how it's affecting us in our communities, how it's affecting us in the whole nation of Africa. Because we have so much to do, and I believe that we can do well in Africa if we change our ways. We have the money is there, we have the human resources, we have the natural resources.
That's right.
But all we need to do is just to, look at the behaviors that are becoming impediments to our progress in Africa. All right, so we're going to end it on that note, unless you have something else to add.
No, I think that's enough, so that we can be able to
absorb
it and make sense out of it.
All right. So thank you so much once again for listening to us. And listen to us again next week as we bring up these little advice on how to rebuild our nation. Because I strongly believe that our nation, like I said before, we're very rich. But the problem that we have is that we have so many behaviors that are really suppressing our progress. So if we can work on those behaviors, everything in Africa will be good, including the government, because I know we blame the government for everything, which is an episode that we'll also, bring up. So we blame the government so much, but our behaviors are really the hindrance. Because if we carry these behaviors to higher positions, even in political arenas, they will still destroy things in Africa. So that's why we're struggling so much. So once again, thank you so much for being our listener today. And watch us again next week at our Sweet Home Africa. Subscribe. Okay.
And thank you so much. We appreciate all your comments. It keeps us going. So if there are ones we didn't address yet,
we will get to you.
Don't get offended.
Exactly.
We're going to get to it. All right? Thank you so
much. See you next week.
Forward it to your friends. All right? Don't be stingy with it. I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.